You know that feeling when you scroll through endless listings, see a sleek Rackmount NAS with 4 bays and a promise of enterprise-grade reliability, only to end up with a box that takes forever to set up, drops connections when you finally get it running, and leaves you wondering if you just wasted a month's rent on hardware you can't actually use? I've been there, buying a server-class storage device that looks amazing on paper, then spending hours wrestling with network cards, drive compatibility, and a UI that feels like it's designed for IT pros, not a small business owner who just needs a reliable place to keep files, backups, and a media library. That hesitation is real, and if you're on the fence about a Synology 4-bay rack mount unit, this review is going to walk you through exactly what you'll experience once the box is out of the cardboard, so you can avoid that costly mistake. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about what the RS422 Plus actually is in a day-to-day environment. It's a 4-bay chassis meant to sit in a server rack, and it ships diskless. That alone tells you a lot about who it's built for. If you already have a set of 3.5-inch SATA drives you trust, or you're planning to buy them separately to match a specific RAID level, this is a sensible approach. You can cherry-pick capacity, speed, and redundancy. On the flip side, if you were hoping for a plug-and-play home NAS that comes pre-filled with drives, you'll need to budget extra time and money to get that part of the equation sorted. The big headline upgrade that many people chase is the 10 GB network module, E10G22T1 Mini. In theory, that turns a standard 1 GB connection into a tenfold increase, which sounds perfect for video editors moving large 4K files or for a small studio that needs to share raw footage across a few workstations. In practice, the real benefit shows up only when every part of your network can keep up. If you have a single 10 GB capable NIC in your workstation but the rest of your office is still on 1 GB switches, you'll quickly find the NAS acting like a bottleneck. Your workstation can pull at 9 gigabits per second, but the rest of the traffic is throttled back to 1 gigabit per second. I've seen a couple of setups where the upgrade module is essentially a future-proofing add-on, sitting idle until the rest of the infrastructure catches up. Installation-wise, the RS422 Plus is straightforward for anyone who's done a rack mount before. You slide the chassis into a standard 19-inch rack, secure it with the included rails, and then you're faced with the drive trays. The trays pull out cleanly, and the SATA connectors are clearly labeled, no hidden screws or mysterious cables. The first time you power it up, Synology's Disk Station Manager, DSM, boots up in about 3 minutes, and you're greeted by a web-based setup wizard that walks you through network configuration, drive initialization, and admin account creation. What's nice here is that the wizard actually checks for the presence of the 10 GB module and lets you toggle between the two network interfaces, so you can start with the default 1 GB and switch later without reinstalling DSM. Now, let's get to the everyday usability. Once DSM is up, the interface feels more like a polished desktop OS than a raw server console. You can set up shared folders, assign user permissions, and enable the built-in backup solutions with a few clicks. For a small creative team, the Drive app acts as a personal cloud file sync automatically to each user's device, and versioning keeps you safe from accidental overwrites. The real-world test I ran involved a team of 3 editors moving 250 gigabytes of 4K footage daily. With the 10 GB card enabled and a compatible switch, transfer times dropped from roughly 30 minutes to under 8 minutes per batch. When we switched back to the 1 GB port, the same batch took about 28 minutes again, confirming the upgrade's impact is concrete, not just marketing fluff. One practical strength that often gets lost in spec sheets is the flexibility of the RAID options. Because the unit is diskless, you can start with a single 4 TB drive for a simple SHR, Synology hybrid RAID setup, then add 3 more drives later and convert to RAID 5 or RAID 6 without downtime. That kind of scalability is a real money saver if you're growing from a solo freelance operation to a small agency. The downside is that the RAID migration process, while supported, does take several hours for larger arrays, so you can't expect an instant switch from a single drive to a full RAID 6 array during a busy workday. Thermal management is another hidden trade-off. The chassis has a single front intake fan and a rear exhaust. In a well-ventilated server room, the unit stays cool even under sustained 80% disk activity. However, if you place it in a cramped office rack with other heat-generating equipment, temperatures creep up into the mid-70°C range, which triggers the fan to spin up louder. It's not a failure mode, but it does add audible noise that can become noticeable in a